My name is Carsten Maas. I'm the technical marketing engineer at Kerio Technologies. With me today is our Vice President of Products, Heather Paunet, and she will be your host for today about the what's new in Kerio Connect 9.0. So I will now hand over the word to Heather. I will be in the background. Whenever you have some questions, just write them down and we will try to answer them on the fly. So Heather, it's your turn.
Thanks, Carsten. So yeah, I'm Heather Paunet. I'm Vice President of Products here at Kerio, and I'm going to be sharing the details of our brand new Kerio Connect Client version 9 release that we posted just last week. If you haven't had the opportunity to take a look at it yet, I'm going to provide you an overview of it and hopefully get you excited enough to take a look for yourself. So here's what I'm going to cover. I'm going to go just a high-level overview of Kerio Connect Client to remind everybody of what it can do and the benefits. Then I'm going to let you know about all the new things we've added in the latest release. And I'll go into detail on a few of those features with some screenshots of what the various features look like. And after I've gone into some of those details, we'll wrap up with a summary and review the benefits that the Kerio Connect version 9 brings. So let's do a recap of Kerio Connect. So Kerio Connect, it's our enterprise class messaging platform. It's a product that's been around for about 13 years. It's a full email server. It fits perfectly for any small to medium-sized businesses. And it also includes instant messaging, calendaring, contacts, etc. So starting off with Kerio Connect, end users can use Kerio's web-based email client, the Kerio Connect client. We're going to spend some time talking about that in the next few slides. It's a full-featured web-based email client. It makes it very easy for users to manage their email and calendars from anywhere where they have a browser. Customers can alternatively use other email clients on their desktop, or they can use a mobile app to access email and calendars. And Kerio Connect will work with clients such as Apple Mail or Microsoft Outlook. And there's an easy-to-use setup tool that can set up everything needed for either Apple Mail or Outlook. So Kerio provides antivirus protection for email. It checks all emails that come through the Kerio Connect message store. Kerio Connect comes with Sophos antivirus protection, and Connect gets updates from Sophos automatically to ensure it keeps up to date with the protection needed for any new viruses that might be out there, which in turn ensure that all our customers' emails remain virus-free. And Kerio Connect is also fully secure. All services from Kerio Connect are secured and encrypted. And furthermore, all users can also have the ability to digitally sign or encrypt all their messages. Kerio Connect is very mobile friendly. When moving around with your mobile device, Kerio Connect can keep you up to date with email messages, notifications, contacts, and meetings on your mobile device. And it's very easy to use on a mobile device. So whether customers are using iOS or Android, it ensures that customers stay up to date when they're not using their desktop or laptop. So Kerio Connect is very simple. It's simple to buy. There's not much there in the way of licensing, and we haven't added anything for the 9.0 release. You can pick the basic option and choose to add antivirus or mobile synchronization with Exchange ActiveSync, and there's not much else to choose from, so simple to buy for sure. It's also very simple to install, again, something that hasn't changed in this release. You can get Kerio Connect Mail Server installed and be sending email in less than an hour. And it's got a very nice administrative user interface that makes setup very easy and quick. So you can choose from flexible deployment options. You can install it in-house as an on-premise deployment, or you can choose to go for a cloud deployment. If you install it in-house, you can install it as a software package on Windows, Mac, or Linux with one installation packet. Or you can install it as a virtual appliance for VMware environments. And we also provide some additional tools for data migration, Outlook support, and also integration to directory services as well. So we also offer cloud-based deployment, and please stay tuned for more on that from us. So let's take a look at what we've got new in the 9.0 version. So our Kerio Connect client in this release has a new design. It's got a new modern look and feel. It's brighter, it's slicker, and it's easier and fuller featured than it's ever been before. If you or your customers have been using an older, for example, the older Webmail client or a different client, then I would say it's definitely time to look at the Kerio Connect client again. As well as the new look and feel, it has some workflows that are a lot easier. For example, simple things that you do every day, such as replying to long emails or forwarding them, are a lot easier as we keep our toolbars in place as you scroll through messages. And we've also pulled out the most commonly used actions that you may use on your emails every day so that they're accessible very easily. And then on the server side, we've added a few new things. So server-wide filtering rules. We already had the ability for end users to set up filtering rules on their emails as they were delivered to a user's inbox. But now we've added the ability for these rules to be set up as messages go through the message store on the server. And I'm going to go into some detail in that in a couple of minutes. We've added the ability to upgrade the server remotely. This is something we had in Kerio Control for a little while, making it very easy to upgrade the server without having to go to it, being able to do it remotely, and I'll show you how that works in a moment. We've added more IPv6 support, Kerio Connect more flexible to deploy, and we've added one new log file which tracks user behavior that I'll show you the details of shortly. So here's what the new Kerio Connect client looks like. If you haven't seen it yet, do take a look. You'll see here it's got a much more modern feel. It's also got a responsive design. If you look at the toolbar at the top of the client where it says compose, delete, etc., if you make the Kerio client less wide, so to speak, some of the things that are written as text here are going to turn into icons instead. So as you make the window smaller or larger, it optimizes for the real estate available to you. So if you reduce the size enough, text labels turn into icons. So this means that the Kerio Connect client is going to look good, whether you're using your laptop or if you're hooked up to a big monitor or if you're using a smaller screen. And then over on the left-hand side, the folder view has been compacted so that more of the real estate is available to see what's going on in your inbox. And you can see we've pulled out the forward option out of the mail toolbar. It's no longer a two-click action to forward an email. It's a one-click action. That used to be hidden under the more, so you had to do 2 clicks instead of 1. So talking more about the Kerio Connect client, here's our list of all the things we've added in the latest version 9. So as well as the responsive design I mentioned, where the client optimizes for the amount of real estate on the screen, there's the toolbar at the top of the client that has buttons for more commonly used actions. So we've made that toolbar static. It stays in place as you read through really long emails so that you can hit reply at any time instead of having to scroll back up to the top of the message. And we've also added a new editor for calendars, a new interface for tasks and notes. And finally, the client just feels faster and it feels slicker. Actions, for example, deleting multiple messages or moving messages around are a lot faster than they were before due to some optimization that we've done on our internal message store. So for anyone with customers still using the older Kerio Connect Webmail, I'd like to point out just how far we've come since this older Webmail client. This was a great client at the time, but it's certainly starting to feel a lot dated now. So it's also important to understand that our new Kerio Connect web client is a different client to the Webmail client. We didn't upgrade the old one. We rewrote it a few years ago. Kerio Connect has been around a long time, and we need to ensure we're using the latest technologies so we can provide the best-in-class performance and features as well. So when we rewrote the Kerio Connect client a few years ago to do this, that was to fulfill our goals of providing our customers with a best-in-class email client. So all the things here are the things you can do in the new Kerio Connect web client that you couldn't do in the older web client. There's a lot of features here, so some to call out. For example, email delegation, very easy encrypting of email messages, and a great search tool integrated into the client. Things like searching through messages, they're a little different than the older Webmail clients are, but they're very powerful, and you'll usually find that you've got more features and more powerful capabilities available to you. Another one that I like is being able to add travel time for calendar events. So if I schedule a meeting with Carsten, I can allow 15 minutes to get to the office so that I can call him up, and it puts that in my calendar so that I don't have to block out 2 different spaces for the same meeting. So you can also create meetings directly from emails. Our calendar notifications have been overhauled, they're easier to handle. And we've got the ability to have a look at things like which devices users are using to connect to Kerio Connect. And we have some safeguards in place. If a mobile phone that downloads all your sensitive data gets lost or stolen, well, you can wipe that device directly from the Kerio Connect administration so that essentially company private data doesn't get stolen or into the wrong hands. So making life easier for our IT administrators, we've added the ability to update Kerio Connect to a new version without having to use tools such as SSH or RDP as you had to do before. So when a new version of Kerio Connect is available, a notification appears in the dashboard, so it looks like this, very easy to spot. And then you can click on that link and upgrade it directly from here. So you can click on the upgrade button. So you can configure whether Kerio Connect automatically checks for upgrades for you, and you can decide if you want release versions only or whether it should also let you know about beta versions to try as well. So new in Kerio Connect 9, you now have the ability to set up different SMTP relay servers depending on who an email is being sent from or who the email is being sent to. So as an example, let's say for compliance reasons, I want all emails sent to me from my special client to get routed through one particular email server. For the compliance reasons I know. So I can set up a rule so I can check the mail, and if the domain part of the email address matches that of my special client, then I can route it through a special email server. So another example might be to route all internal email through one SMTP server and all external email through another SMTP server. This is pretty easy to do just again by checking the @domain part of the email with a SMTP relay rule. And you can do other things with this, such as hiding your SMTP server from the outside world by having it relay through another one first. So lots of things you can do with SMTP relay. So I'm now going to talk about server-based filtering rules. So before Kerio Connect version 9 was available, it was possible for the end users to set up email filtering rules that were applied as users received messages in their inbox. They could do such things as filter mailing list emails to folders or filter and delete messages. In version 9, we've added receiving rules and sending rules. So let's start off though by taking a look at what happens to an email message as it goes through the Kerio Connect message store. So all emails go through the same set of rules that we'll go over here. So whether a message comes from inside the local organization or if it comes from the outside, the first thing that happens is that the message goes through Kerio's anti-spam filters. So when a message comes into Kerio Connect, it first goes through the spam filter. Spam rules are applied according to various settings that the administrator may have set up, such as spam sensitivity thresholds, DNS blacklists, and checking against permitted IP addresses. If the message gets through the spam filter, then it goes to our antivirus engine. All emails get scanned for viruses. If any issues are found, then the appropriate behavior is applied, again, based on what the administrator may have already set up. If it doesn't pass cleanly through the antivirus engine, then the message may be discarded. the malicious part of it might be removed. But if there are no viruses, then we move on to applying the receiving rules. So receiving rules apply for everybody that's on the recipient list of the message. Each message has receiving rules applied once, and whatever happens to the message at this point applies to the message as it gets sent through to everyone included on the message. Perhaps the easiest example of a receiving rule is to check the size of the message. So let's say that we want a limit of 20 megabytes for the message size. So if the message is greater than 20 megabytes, we want to reject that message. So this can be one of the receiving rules. If the message is greater than 20 megabytes, then reject the message and send a message back to the sender that it's too large. Another example of a receiving rule would be to send a copy of all messages sent to one person to everybody else on their team. So in this case, a receiving rule would be created. So if a message comes in for Simon, then 2 of his teammates get a copy of the message. After the receiving rules have been applied that affect all the participants, we then move on to having sending rules applied. So sending rules apply separately for each recipient of the message. So an example of a sending rule could be something like, our employee Simon is only allowed to send email message to other internal employees. So he's not allowed to send any external messages at all. Before Kerio Connect before Kerio Connect 9, it was possible to set a flag for Simon so that he could only send or receive email from outside his company. But now you have a little bit more control over this. You can now let him receive emails from outside the company, but you can stop him sending emails from outside the company. So to set this behavior up for Simon, you would create a sending rule. The sending rule would check if the message was from Simon and then check that the domain of the recipient of the message matched his own company. And if not, then the message would be rejected. So finally, after the message gets checked for spam, gets checked for viruses, has receiving rules applied, has sending rules applied, it gets delivered to the user's mailbox. And then the end user may have their own personal rules that then get applied as the message gets delivered. So a couple of other examples of what you can use these rules for. So compliance monitoring, send a copy of all email matching certain criteria to one mailbox so that they can be referenced later. Message size management, which is an example of a receiving rule that I mentioned before. Another thing, employees leaving the company. If somebody leaves the company, a rule can be set up so that all messages that come into him or her are forwarded to the person's manager. So before Kerio Connect 9, we had 8 log files for Kerio Connect, and we've now added one more. So we now have a total of 9 log files that you can use for different reasons. So the new log file gives visibility into user behavior. So this log file can show when users log into their mailbox, what IP address they log in from, what email client they're using, and along with the username and the actual mailbox that they're logging into. So the log file includes Kerio Connect accounts, client accounts, and Kerio Connect administration accounts as well. So it will include showing when people log in from the Kerio Connect client, when they log in from Outlook, when administrators log into Kerio Connect Administrator. So the log file gets added to the same location as the others. So whatever platform you're on, Windows, Mac or Linux, it gets put into the mail server store logs directory on the platform that you're running. So in Kerio Connect's administration, you can define various IP address groups for things such as access policies, for example, who has access to things such as remote administration of Kerio Connect. You can enable remote administration, but only from remote hosts who are in a particular IP address group that you specify. You can also define IP address groups for various services such as SMTP, secure SMTP, IMAP, LDAP, instant messaging, etc. So Ultimately, from Kerio Connect Client version 9, from Kerio Connect 9, you can define IPv6 addresses for both of these access policies for all outgoing connections for all the services that I mentioned. So now let's take a look at the system requirements for Kerio Connect 9, because there are a few things that have changed. So first, take note that we're making steps to support only 64-bit installations. So we want all new installations to be 64-bit installations. For our partners and customers who have 32-bit installations today, they can upgrade to version 9 as a 32-bit upgrade if they go to the Kerio Connect administration and do it from there. But do keep in mind this is the last version of Kerio Connect where we'll provide a 32-bit upgrade at all. So new installations 64-bit. If there is already a 32-bit installation, we will allow it to be upgraded as a 32-bit, but let's take that time to move over to a 64-bit version next time. So we include support for El Capitan and iOS 9. Actually, since Kerio Connect version 8.5.2, we've supported those. And we support Microsoft Office 2016 for both the Windows and Mac platforms. Regarding browser support, Microsoft Internet Explorer version 10 or higher is required. So we no longer support Internet Explorer version 8 or 9. And Office 2007 or later is required. So Office 2003 is no longer supported. And regarding Apple Mac, so OS 10.8 or higher is required. So 10.6, 10.7 are no longer supported as of this release. So let me recap. Kerio Connect 9, if you or your customers have not been using the new email client yet, I would say it's time to give it a try. It looks new and modern, it has lots of new workflows, and it has so many things added since the older Webmail client. It's now really a client that you can use every day to get your work done, and you don't need to use any other email client at the same time as this one. Would love to hear your feedback on that, so if you've been using it, and you have some things you'd like to tell us about, please do so. If you haven't used it yet, I urge you to give it a try. So we've made administration easier once again, this time by ensuring you can upgrade remotely just with the click of a button. We've added a new log file, more visibility into your users' behavior. And we've added more control over email routing, so the ability to add those receiving rules and sending rules to be applied on the server before end user inbox message filtering rules are applied. So this gives you the ability to do compliance monitoring, message size management, and smoothly transition things over when an employee leaves the company. So I'll leave you with a call to action. If you haven't tried Kerio Connect 9 yet, please do so and send us our feedback. Thanks for listening, and please look out for our next Kerio webinar, which is on Kerio Control and virtual private networking, coming very soon.